first objection that I put on here goes like this. If pro-life advocates get their way and make abortion illegal, then you're forcing women into dangerous back alley abortions. Okay, this is sometimes called the coat hanger objection. Often when they're protesting with pro-choice signs, they got the coat hanger on there. How do we respond? Well, first, what does this argument assume about the unborn? Again, it assumes the unborn aren't human like a toddler. What should be the first words out of our mouth? Remember that teaching, I think it was week 2. By the way, weeks 1 and 2, the videos, I got them on YouTube, and I was able to video edit the PowerPoints and everything in there. So if you want to check those out, I'll give you more information at the end. But if you're going to try the toddler, put your hand at your side, and you say, I got a 2-year-old in front of me. Should we make it legal to kill her because it might be dangerous to do so? Think about it. This argument is saying that we should make it legal to kill one group of individuals, the unborn, because it might be risky on another group of individuals, the women, if we don't. The second thing is that just because people can get hurt doing something illegal doesn't mean we should make the law make it legal. For instance, should we legalize bank robbery if it makes it safer for bank robbers? I mean, think about it. An armed robber comes into a bank with a gun. Of course, the police show up. What do they have to do? They have to pull out their guns because he has his gun out. This whole situation is becoming very dangerous, isn't it? And so shouldn't we make armed robbery legal? Because we don't want to force robbers into these dangerous, illegal robberies, right? In fact, listen, pro-choice advocate Mary Ann Warren, we've talked about her objection to her personhood argument a couple weeks ago, but she actually agrees with that this reasoning is absurd. She says the fact that restricting access to abortion has tragic side effects does not in itself show that restrictions are unjustified, since murder is wrong regardless of the consequences of prohibiting it. Okay? I mean, this makes sense. Third, no one is forced into back alley abortions. A woman chooses abortion. I mean, this is kind of ironic, isn't it? Pro-choicers call themselves pro-choice. And so now they're saying that we're forcing them into this, back alleys. Greg Koukl from Stand to Reason, he states, a woman is no more forced into a back alley when abortion is outlawed than a young man is forced to rob banks because the state won't put him on welfare. Both have options. Fourth, the facts about so-called back alley abortions really are in question. This is kind of the second Columbo tactic. If someone says you're going to force women into back alley abortions, how did you come to that conclusion? Where are you getting this from? And what they're going to say is, well, before, there was all of these back alley abortions. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. In 1960, Planned Parenthood stated, this is Planned Parenthood, they stated 90% of all illegal abortions are presently done by physicians. 90% are done by doctors. Most abortions were not done in back alleys. Instead, they were being performed by doctors in offices by licensed physicians. In fact, Canada's own Dr. Henry Morgentaler, he admitted to doing 5,000 illegal abortions prior to the legalization of abortion in Canada. 5,000. He admitted to it. In fact, before it was legal, he actually invited a camera crew to shoot the whole thing, to actually film an abortion. So think about this. The same doctors who are doing abortions before they were legal, the same doctors with the same equipment, in the same offices, are the ones doing it after it's legal. It's the same thing going on. So if you think that it was bad before, well, it's the same thing that's happening now. Okay? There's no difference. And so, and finally, abortion choice advocates argue that there was tens of thousands of illegal back alley abortions, but that just simply is false. Former abortion rights activist Bernard Nathanson, this guy is personally responsible for over 75,000 abortions, okay? Now, it's very interesting, and we didn't talk about him when we talked about graphic images, but it was when he started using ultrasounds that he actually became pro-life. He saw what was actually going on inside the mother. He saw the baby move out of the way from his instruments. And he became pro-life, and then after that, he became Catholic. In fact, he's written on this and said it wasn't his, Christian convictions that made him pro-life. It was seeing what was going on. And so he actually says, because he was at the ground roots level when they were trying to make abortion legal, and he says it was always 5,000 to 10,000 deaths a year. It's the number of women being killed through these abortions. I confess that I knew the figures were totally false, and I suppose that others did too if they stopped to think about it. But in the morality of our revolution, it was a useful figure, widely accepted, so why go out of our way to correct it with honest statistics, right? The overriding concern was to get the laws, and that is against abortion, eliminated. And anything within reason that had to be done was permissible. The research confirms it was probably closer to 250 deaths per year, which, by the way, should make every pro-lifer sick, to our stomachs. We don't want women dying. We don't want that happening. Make no mistake, every one of those deaths, those 250, was too many. It was a tragedy. In fact, Stephen Schwartz, he put it this way in his book, The Moral Question of Abortion. He says, the true response to back alley abortions is to be outraged at all abortions, to condemn all abortions, not to propose one kind legal in place of another illegal. So we're outraged at them all, not just the illegal ones.